Hey everyone, Hallie here. Today I'm going to be going through every single character in Marvel Rivals and giving you guys one buff idea for each of these characters. Essentially what that means is I'm going to be giving you one idea of how the developers for Marvel Rivals could improve each of these characters. These buffs will be centered around not only their gameplay, but also just what would fit thematically for their character. So if you guys do enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, to start this off, we will be talking about the Vanguard characters, and specifically, we will be starting off with Hulk. This one's pretty simple. I think it'd be really cool if his leap ability had like a shockwave whenever he landed. That ability already is incredibly strong, and it's a super good mobility tool that you can use. However, I think it'd be really fun if you could leap onto enemies and it applies a shockwave. And to kind of second that, with Hulk, you can also leap at an enemy in the air and you can like take them down. And it is really hard to do, but if you are able to do it, it is incredibly satisfying. So maybe another idea is to make it a little bit more manageable to take enemies out of the air using the leap ability. So yeah, that's my idea for Hulk. Give him a shockwave for his leap, and also make it easier for him to grab people out of the air when using his leap ability. For Doctor Strange, I wish he could stay in the air a little bit longer. Currently, you can use your left bumper ability to fly up into the air as Doctor Strange, and you float there for about 8 seconds. I think it'd be really cool if they either extended this duration or make it unlimited. I don't know if they should make it unlimited, but I think the idea of just having this be a longer ability and you can, fly up in the air as Doctor Strange and use your shield up in the air, I think that'd be really cool. So that is my idea for Doctor Strange. For Captain America, I wish when you threw his shield, it bounced off more things. I wish you didn't have to just like hit an enemy in order for it to start bouncing off stuff. I wish if you threw it behind the wall, if you threw it behind an enemy and while it's coming back, and if it collides with an enemy, I wish it started bouncing there. I think that'd be really cool. I also think it'd be really neat if Captain America, whenever using his shield, could like deflect projectiles. If Groot were to shoot his ultimate at you, you would shoot it back at him, and you get the effects of it. Or maybe it's similar to Mr. Fantastic's shield ability, where you just soak up damage and shoot it out. I think something like that would be really cool for Captain America. Next up, we have Groot, and I think it'd be really cool if whenever Groot died, he left behind like a sapling of himself. Exactly what happened in Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and then going into the other movies in the trilogy. Maybe whenever he dies, he leaves behind a sapling of himself, and if it's not dealt with, it won't have too much damage it won't have too much health because it's just a sapling. But if it's not dealt with, maybe Groot can grow out of that and revive himself. I think that would be super cool. Maybe a teammate has to help him. I just think something like that, the sapling from the movies would be really cool to add. Next up, we have Venom. I think it'd be really cool using the symbiote idea. Whenever you kill an enemy, you get a buff from them, or maybe you take some sort of aspect of their character. Like maybe if they're a strategist, you get some sort of healing boost if you kill a strategist, or maybe if they're a duelist, you get extra damage for a little bit after killing them, or maybe if they're a tank, you get extra health. I think something like that would be really cool. So yeah, that's my idea for Venom. For Magneto, I really wish he had an ability similar to the Titans in Titanfall whenever they pull up their shields, where you could collect actual projectiles and then you were able to shoot it back at them. I think it makes sense for his character. He controls metal stuff, so I think it'd be really cool if he had some sort of ability to catch projectiles and shoot it back. Very similar to the other idea I had for Captain America. But I don't know, I just think something like that would not only make sense for his character, but also be really cool to see. Maybe the projectiles that are stopped when he uses a shield ability are able to be shot back whenever you are done using it, or whenever the shield is done, or maybe if there's a certain amount of damage taken to the shield. I think that'd be super cool. So yeah, that's my idea for Magneto. For Thor, I think it'd be really cool if he had some sort of chain lightning ability, where his lightning attacks would bounce from one enemy to another. I'm not sure which attack specifically, maybe his square attack where he enters a lightning mode and throws the lightning bolts, that would make sense for. But yeah, I think it would be really cool if his lightning could chain off enemies, or maybe even the environment. Or like maybe whenever he throws his hammer, it allows lightning to start chaining between enemies. I think that'd be really cool. For Penny Parker, I'm really not too sure how we would buff her. You know, maybe giving her 2 different mines that she can place, like the mines that she can place that creates like a web field. Maybe having 2 of those would be good. Or maybe something related to, you know, just her team, as like her character is very like support focused, you know, just like in story wise. So I don't know. I think something related to like her teammates, you know, maybe the more teammates she has, the longer she lives, or like the more health she has, or like attack speed. I'm really not too sure. Or maybe just a straight up buff to the mines, or maybe making her more maneuverable on walls, you know, giving her an actual web swing as opposed to like a grapple that she has right now. Yeah, something like that would be really cool. I think she is definitely one of the best balanced characters in the game, so I'm really not too sure. Now we have the Duelist characters, and the first Duelist character I'm going to cover is the Punisher. For the Punisher, I think it'd be really cool if he had like tactical reloads. Think of something similar to what was seen in Gears of War, or something like Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, where you can, if a little quick time event shows up whenever you are done reloading, or whenever you are in the middle of a reload, and if you hit the quick time event at like a certain point, you get like a buff to your damage, and you instantly reload, so you can get right back to shooting. I think a tactical reload for Punisher would be really cool, and I think it'd fit his character pretty well. So next up we have Storm. I honestly just wish Storm was faster. I know she has an ability, or she can use her area of effect field to go faster. I just wish she was more maneuverable, similar to like Iron Man, who is an incredibly maneuverable flying character. I just wish she was more maneuverable, so that's my buff to Storm. For Hawkeye, I really do wish he had more movement abilities. He does have a double jump, but it does feel a little bit lackluster as far as his movement, especially compared to all the other Duelist characters. And given his kit of being essentially like a sniper character, I feel like he should just have more movement, or if he doesn't have more movement, give him better up close options, because his up close options aren't too great. So that's my idea for Hawkeye. Make him more maneuverable, or give him better up close options. For Hela, I think I would like to see the ability to control her Raven a little bit more. When you use her Raven, you just shoot in like a straight line. But what if they made it so that you could like maneuver the Raven, so maybe you use it and then you can turn left. I think something like that would be really cool. For Black Panther, I'm going to say this up front, I'm not a Black Panther player. I know you can do some crazy stuff with him, so I am a little bit ill-informed on Black Panther, but I think, you know, whenever you use his abilities to pass through enemies and like dodge through them or attack through them, I think it'd be really cool if that created some sort of area of effect attack, like maybe a little blast comes out of the enemies. For magic, I think it'd be really cool whenever she uses her Demon Wraith ability, where she summons like a little demon that just kind of swipes in the air. What if it summoned like a demon that moves around and attacks the enemies? I think that'd be pretty funny. And of course it'd be a little bit broken, but that is kind of the whole point of this video. For Moon Knight, I know this would have to be like a whole new system added into the game, but I think it'd be really cool if like in darker areas of a map, he gets bonus damage. I don't know, I think that would just be funny. And also fit his character, as he is, you know, kind of like a stealth dude. He is literally the Moon Knight. So, I don't know, I think something related to like just using stealth and getting a bonus from that would be really cool. Or maybe like whenever you're out of the enemy's line of sight for some period of time, you get bonus damage. I guess that'd make a little bit more sense than dark areas on a map, but I think something like that would be really cool. For Spider-Man, I think it'd be really cool if, I'm taking inspiration from the Spider-Man PS5 game, of course, but whenever you webbed up an enemy, if you had the ability to throw that enemy at another, you know, like enemy, like one of their teammates, I think that'd be really cool. Or maybe if you had the ability to just throw them in general, that'd be really cool. Or my other idea for Spider-Man was if he like spams webs on an enemy, like maybe if you hit an enemy with 3 webs from your web shooter, it like immobilizes them and stuns them in place. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, that's my idea for Spider-Man. Next up, we have Black Widow. I know Black Widow can be good, but my main gripe with her is she doesn't have much up-close options. If you look at Widowmaker from Overwatch, Her main up-close option is whenever you're not aiming down sights with your sniper rifle, it turns into like an SMG. And I wish Black Widow had a similar thing. She does have like batons that she uses, but those batons really don't do much damage, and they're actually quite weak. So I think it'd be really cool if she just had the ability to like reconfigure her sniper rifle into an SMG, or something like that. I think that'd be really cool. Or maybe she just has like SMGs she whips out, or like pistols that she pulls out and can use. I just think she is very weak up close. Again, it is kind of give or take, because you could just headshot enemies with a sniper rifle and no scope them up close, but I think having a dedicated up close option would be pretty cool. Next up we have Iron Man, and I really wish Iron Man had the ability to charge up like a blast attack similar to his ultimate, although of course a little bit less powerful. But I really wish Iron Man had some sort of ability where he could like charge up his chest repulsor thing and then shoot out like a blast from that. That isn't his ultimate, but does like area of effect damage. I think that'd be really cool. Or maybe make his rockets like heat seeking, so they just target enemies. That would be pretty broken, but again, that's the whole theme of this video. So yeah, I think, you know, buff his rockets, maybe give him some sort of charge blast he could do. I don't know. I think heat seeking rockets would be insane though. That would be pretty wild. Next up we have Squirrel Girl, and she is already an incredibly powerful character. However, I think for a buff idea, it'd be pretty interesting if whenever she ate her nut. But for a buff idea, I think it'd be really cool whenever she uses her right bumper ability to eat like a nut. What if she doesn't activate like any of her abilities, she just gets like a damage buff, or maybe just eating that nut, or maybe when using that nut ability, it just gives you like a flat damage boost, as well as allowing you to use and instantly remove the cooldown of either your left trigger ability or the bounce that you have. I think, you know, just give her more damage. She is already an incredibly powerful character, but yeah, I don't know, something like that could be cool. Next up we have Scarlet Witch. I think it'd be really cool if the longer that you like sucked an enemy with your chaos magic thing, if it applied like debuffs to them, like maybe if you are sucking an enemy for like 5 seconds, it causes them to not see. That sounds crazy. But I don't know. Yeah, give debuffs to whenever she is using her ability on enemies, or like her main attack. I think that'd be pretty cool. Or maybe just any of her attacks, not only the suck ability, but also like the daggers that she throws and like the bomb that she has. Next up we have Star-Lord. And I'm really not sure what I would add to this character, because I feel like he is already pretty strong and pretty well balanced. Maybe the ability to use his blasters while in the like jetpack mode that he has, or maybe the ability to just straight up hover as him and use your jetpacks would just be really cool. I really don't know why he doesn't have the ability to do that. Maybe just because it'd be too strong and they just want to keep that to his ultimate and like a side ability that he has. But I think it'd be really cool to just be able to shoot in the air as Star-Lord. Next up we have the Winter Soldier. I think it'd be really cool if whenever you use your bionic arm just like as the ability, like not your ultimate but just the side abilities that he has, if it applied some sort of like debuff to the enemy, similar to how your ultimate does, where you can kill the enemy much sooner if you hit them with your ultimate as the Winter Soldier, something like that for just like his regular abilities. Of course not as strong as his ultimate, but something in a similar vein would be pretty cool. Or maybe something focused around getting headshots. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like maybe if you get consecutive headshots, it gives you like a damage multiplier. And I think that'd be really cool, and it would reward good aim too. Next up we have Namor. I think it'd be really cool if he could just summon more of his little squids. I think they're so cute. And I honestly think they're probably one of the best parts of his kit. And if he had more of them, that would just be even more broken. So give him more squids. Next up we have Psylocke. Again, one of those characters I just don't really play. But for Psylocke, I think it'd be really cool if whenever she attacked the enemies, her skills got reduced cooldown. As her whole, at least in Marvel Snap, that's how I know about Psylocke. And I know she was focused around like energy and like energy management and stuff. So, maybe something like whenever she uses her psychic abilities on the enemies, then like if she gets a hit, it slightly reduces her cooldown of some ability. I think something like that would be neat and fit her character too. For Wolverine, I think a crazy buff you could give to his character is, currently he has the ability of whenever he's about to die, he will get half health as shield. What if, whenever he is about to die, he just gets another life? Like he just gets full health again, and he gets a reset on his cooldowns, and he can just go. That would be a crazy buff to Wolverine. Next up, we have Iron Fist. For him, I'm really not too sure. Maybe something like a concussive attack onto his punches. Like maybe if you're punching an enemy for like 2 or 3 seconds, it applies like a concussive effect on them, or at least like makes them a little bit slower. I think that makes sense. You're being punched a lot, so you're gonna move a little bit slower. It would be very powerful as you're affecting the enemy's movement. That's the whole point. For Mr. Fantastic, I just wish his shield ability like actually shot back the same amount of damage that you are taking. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Or directly bounce back the projectiles. Like if a Groot ultimate, I keep going back to this ability. So let's use Iron Man. If Iron Man uses a maximum pulse on you and you suck it up as Mr. Fantastic, you should be able to shoot that maximum pulse back. I nearly said fantastic pulse. I guess that's what would be called. But I think it'd be really cool if they just buffed his shield ability. I think that's one of like the coolest abilities with Mr. Fantastic, so buffing it would just be even cooler. Now we are looking at the Stratigest characters, and the very first Stratigest character we have is Loki. For Loki, I think it'd be really cool and a crazy buff if his clones could move around. Like the mimics that he creates, currently they're just stationary and they'll attack wherever you are attacking. However, if those mimics could move around and also attack where you're attacking, I feel like that'd be pretty cool and very powerful, although it would, probably make them less consistent, as they could move behind a wall and then they're not attacking the enemy properly. So maybe if they had like a mode, I guess, to turn them on from like stationary to moving around, something like that would be really cool. For Mantis, I really wish whenever she does the self-buff ability that she has, it would also make her faster. Currently, it gives her a damage buff, and it is a strong damage buff. I mean, I was using her in Doom Match, and I could compete pretty well just using Mantis. But if her self-buff ability also gave her some movement speed, just some healing, that would be really cool, and I would love to see that. For Rocket, I really wish you could get the shield boost that he has from some other way other than his little like robot revive beacon ability that he has. Maybe whenever you maybe if like there's a dead enemy or dead teammate, you can loot their body for like scrap or something, and you can create shields from that. Maybe like each time someone dies, you can create 2 little shield packs from that you can either give to yourself or to a teammate. And also like the boosters that he has that allows teammates to jump really high. I think it'd be really cool if he had more access to that. Next up, we have Cloak and Dagger, and of course, outside of just like more healing, I think it'd be really cool if when Cloak uses his like blind ability, it also slowed the enemy down. I think that'd be really cool, and just help them out a little bit more and make the ability a little bit better. Next up, we have Luna Snow. I think it'd be pretty interesting if her main attack also caused like a freezing effect similar to the snowball ability that she has. Maybe if you attack an enemy like 5 times or get like a critical hit on them 3 times in a row or something like that, it fully freezes them. That would be super powerful. But again, that is the whole point of this video, is insane buffs. For Adam Warlock, I think it'd be interesting if he had the ability to just fly. Give him the ability like Iron Man. Give him the ability to fly like Iron Man. Why not? I see nothing wrong with it. For Jeff the Landshark, I think it'd be really interesting if he could just like bite enemies. Like, he latches onto the ankle. He's a little ankle biter, and he will latch onto the ankles of enemies and maybe holds, like, maybe they have to look down and attack you. I think something like that would be funny, and Jeff is he's ankle height, so it would work. For Invisible Woman, already, if you walk through her invisible fields as an enemy, you're going to realize that you literally can't kill anyone who's in the field. How about whenever enemies walk into the invisible field, their vision also gets blurred. They just can't see anything. That sounds absolutely miserable to deal with. You know, maybe even if you attack them, but especially if they enter like your invisible field, cause them to go blind for a little bit. So yeah, with that being said, that was one buff idea for every single character in Marvel Rivals. Of course, I'm not a game designer, and a lot of these buffs were just kind of meant to be fun ideas. Please do not take them seriously. I know some people will, so whatever. But hey, if you watched all the way to the very end of this video, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. If you want to see more Marvel Rivals videos, be sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching again to the very end. It really does mean a lot. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.